my name is Sonja and welcome to Funny Mental Lives. I'm here today with my special guest, Fredi Weinstein. Hey Fredi, how are you?
I'm okay, Sonja. How are you?
I'm good. Welcome to my show.
Thank you.
It's good to have you here, finally. It took a little while to get Fredi here. So, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh my God, what decade shall I go back to?
The 40s.
Oh my, no, I wasn't here then. Well, let's see. As a teenager, I suffered with depression and social anxiety, and I just always felt different than everybody around me. I was a dancer, I was a musician.
Oh, what kind of dancing and
classical ballet.
Okay.
And when I failed an audition, I quit ballet.
And what about your instrument?
I played piano and flute.
Oh, wow.
And I went to music and art. And I dropped out of music and art after the first year because my mental illness was becoming too much. I was self-mutilating, I was depressed, I was anxious, and...
Sounds very stressful though, dancing, like classical ballet.
Yeah, it was. And then you include, I had braces, so you have to go to the orthodontist, and I went to religious school, and I went to Hebrew school, and I babysat on the weekends.
Wow,
so
that's a hectic life.
Yeah, it was pretty full.
And when you're young, you don't have the skills to really deal with that.
It's true.
You know, you haven't learned enough yet to know how to actually moderate yourself so that you don't get too stressed or what have you.
Yeah.
Even adults don't know how to do that. I mean, that's why stress is a very serious issue for everyone.
It is. I guess I was fortunate that school was never stressful.
Oh, that's good.
I don't remember ever being stressed in school.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know.
You enjoyed school, obviously.
Not really. Both my parents were teachers, but it was just never stressful.
That's funny.
I never had to really study or apply myself, and I always got good grades.
So you just
I was
really
fortunate.
Good at school.
Yeah.
And so it seemed easy. But it's funny that you say both your parents are teachers. Usually that would make life more stressful at school.
You would think so.
That's how it would, yeah.
You'd think there would be all this pressure. The only pressure I remember was we couldn't stay home unless we had a fever.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't just be sick and not have a fever.
That sounds not fair.
Yeah, definitely. And that I kind of carried over into my adult work life. You know, like I would feel guilty if I was sick. I feel I have to have a fever to stay home.
Right. Yeah, I'm kind of like that too, but because I actually think that's necessary. Like,
yeah.
I know I've had a few times when I've had a cold and I get a chest cold or something and I'm coughing stuff up, and I'll post on Facebook about being sick and saying how yummy it is to cough up all this stuff and make a joke about it, and people were like, you have to go to the hospital, and I'm like, no I don't. I'm sick. This is what my body is meant to do to recover from being sick.
Yeah.
This means I'm actually getting better.
Yeah, it does, because your body's expelling what's not right.
Right, and if you go to the doctor and then you medicate, then you're to me it seems like I'm weakening my system, because then my system doesn't have to work as hard to fix itself because it's getting help from an outside source. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
That makes perfect sense, unless you were sick to the point where you couldn't breathe.
Well, then that's different. If I'm critical, like if it's something really serious, then absolutely.
Yeah, it's like what they're doing with kids now. I babysat yesterday, and my granddaughter has a runny nose and a cough, and she has a slight fever, but 101 in today's world isn't really even considered a fever.
Oh, really?
For a child, yeah.
What did it used to be?
It used to be if you had like 99, you had a fever.
Oh, okay.
And then it also depended on what your normal fever is, your normal temperature.
I guess they didn't know as much once upon a time, so things were more critical if you got sick, because people would die from the common cold.
Exactly.
So, but now we
don't.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
I don't know either, actually.
I wanted to sort of mention that Fredi and I know each other through NAMI, which is where I'm finding all my people for this.
Yeah.
I would love to expand beyond NAMI, which would be great, because I'm going to run out of people at some point, I'm sure.
I don't think so. I have faith we'll keep coming.
And we also do the In Our Own Voice presentations together. And you're a little bit newer than me. You only started last year?
Yeah, I started last year with the In Our Own Voice. I teach a peer-to-peer class, which is a 12-week course, and it's a fantastic class in mental health and recovery and relapse prevention. Okay. It covers everything, and you get to tell your own story, and there's feedback, and it's discussions. And
well, because it's a class of people who are all have similar experiences,
yes.
being taught by people who have also been through
exactly
experiences.
And the class, you could have a homeless person sitting next to a principal, sitting next to a scientist. The group varies in age and careers and all different things.
Well, mental health, we all have brains, so we're
all
susceptible.
And we all have blood.
That too.
Yeah, I also co-facilitate with another woman a MICA group. NAMI never had a MICA group.
Explain what that is.
Okay. A MICA is mentally ill, chemically addictive, and my son, Miles, died of an accidental overdose May 23rd, 2016, and I wanted to do something in his name, something that would mean something good for me, and I asked NAMI if we could do a MICA group here since we didn't have one, and I think a lot of people that have mental illness have a substance abuse problem.
Absolutely.
And so this is a group that we run here as well. And all the groups at NAMI are free. They're phenomenal. Everything at NAMI is free.
We're promoting NAMI now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good to talk about it.
And Sonja is free. No, she's not. She's very expensive.
And worth a lot.
Yes.
A lot.
She is. She really, really is. She's got an awful lot of knowledge here. And she's Australian, so.
Wow, I think that's gold, apparently. It feels like it sometimes. It's fun being from a different country.
I love the
in America,
accent.
and my accent is very popular.
Yeah, it really is.
So I really love that that's one of the reasons why I want to talk to you, that you're doing the MICA group, because I feel like not just that it's in your memory of your son, it's also you being active and taking an active role in your own recovery, in your own life, and it's got to be helping you get...
It does. It really does. I go to the peer-to-peer graduate meetings. I need to go to more meetings because the meetings really help. They help talking with people who have issues like you or issues that are not like you. And it's socializing, doing the In Our Own Voice. It makes healing so positive.
I love it.
Yeah.
When I first started, my story's changed considerably from when I first started. There were things that I wanted to talk about that I thought were important, but it was too hard. And then I spoke to the woman who ran the program at the time, and she was like, that's very important, you need to talk about that, but only when you're ready. And now I talk about that like I've been doing it all my life.
Wow.
Because of doing In Our Own Voice, it just makes it easier, because you're trying to explain to a stranger what you've been through, and so for me that means learning how to articulate it as best as possible in the most clear and concise and manner that I can.
Right.
And because of making myself do that, I've been able to learn to talk about it without crying, and
it's healing. It's
very healing. Don't get me wrong. Like when I think about it myself, when I'm on my own or whatever, it still makes me cry because it's sad.
Yeah. Things
that I've been through are sad, and I've said often that if I stop being sad about those things, then I'd be very concerned about myself, because then but I can also talk about it in a clear manner, so without crying.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, which is what In Our Own Voice does. And there should be more of us, and there should be more organizations and hospitals and whatever, having us around,
I think so too.
Yeah, we should be lining up around the corner for us.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
And so I want to hear Fredi's told me some fun stories about her history. So talk about your adult history.
Oh God.
Your history as an adult.
Yes. Let's see. I left home at 18 because I figured that was what was making me ill. So I continued going to college and working and moved in with a guy. We won't even talk about him. This was husband number 1. I am currently on husband number 5, and it took me 5 to get it right. And I love my husband. I met him 24 years ago in an NA meeting, and we dated for 6 months, and it just really didn't work out. And I dated some other people after him and realized I needed to just work on myself. And I didn't date for a good 15 years after that.
Wow.
And this man found me on Facebook.
Oh wow, see,
and
Facebook's
said,
awesome.
yeah, it was great. You know, like we had some mutual friends, and he said, "Oh, would you like to go out?" And I said, "Okay." And I'm thinking, "Oh no, you know, we're going to get involved again, blah blah blah." And I told him, I don't want anything serious, but we wound up being serious, and it wound up being great. And he's become my best friend. He's so supportive and so wonderful. I don't know where I would have been this year, because this was just, the last few years were very traumatic for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, like I got pepper sprayed in Penn Station.
But like residual though, right?
Yeah, exactly, the residual.
I've had that happen to me too.
Oh, it's awful.
Yeah, it's really
You go into this coughing fit, and
I just had tears streaming,
yes.
And I was from a long distance, like it had carried a long distance through the air, and it had been sprayed point blank in someone's face, and that person got up and ran away. I don't know how she could see.
Well, I don't know what this person did, because the police were arresting him, but I was coming to volunteer on the helpline that day, and my eyes were bright red, and I couldn't stop coughing.
Uh-oh, they got relapse?
Huh?
They did relapse?
Oh, God. It could have been, but no.
That's what it would look like, right? Like,
Yeah. And so that night I started running a fever, and we went to the hospital, and I turned out having a rare strain of the flu. And what's going on in my head, because this is kicking up some of my shit, you know, going like, oh my God, you know, I watch X-Files, you know, like I watch Fringe. I know what those police could do. You know, what did they spray me with? Some kind of mutant strain?
Oh my God.
Because it turned out to be, a rare strain of the flu. I wound up being in the hospital for 6 days, and they did a chest X-ray, and they found a nodule in my chest. And then my paranoia got worse, like, what did they implant in me? Is it some kind of an egg? But it turned out to be a cancerous nodule.
Oh no.
And they removed it with like 3 little tiny holes under my arm.
Oh wow.
And
so it's lucky you got pepper spray in your face.
It turned out to be such a favorable thing.
Wow.
You know? If I hadn't have been pepper sprayed, I never would have had a chest X-ray, because I'd had one the year before and everything was fine. So So I was really, really lucky. Really lucky.
Wow. You hear about things like that. And people
Yeah.
go for one thing and find something very serious.
Yeah. So my husband was with me through that. You know, he was with me through my mom dying that year too, and through my spine surgery. So like the last 3 years have been kind of hard. And then with my son, finding out he was addicted to opiates because of a back injury, and it escalated to heroin. And it was...
That's not uncommon either.
No, I mean, you know, now it's just such an epidemic here.
Right.
So I got to speak with ThriveNYC. The mayor's camera people came and interviewed me. So I did a video, like a documentary video.
That's with Charlene McRae, right?
Yes.
And so you told your story about your son.
Yeah. His famous words were, "Don't worry, Mom, I'm not going to die." And, you know, it goes through my head, and I miss him like crazy, you know. He was talented, he had everything to live for, and it still doesn't seem real to me.
Yeah, I bet.
So I'm trying to do as much as I can. I would really love to do more with this heroin epidemic. You know, like, it's bad, it's international.
Yeah, absolutely. You probably will do more with it if you want to.
Yeah.
And you've already like taken steps.
I got a foot in, you know, and
and
it's what they're doing to the heroin. Like, people think they're just relapsing, but they don't know what's in what they're relapsing. They're putting cofentanyl, they're putting fentanyl in it, and it's killing people.
Yeah.
So don't relapse.
I wanted to talk more about the video that you made because it was, I saw it, it's a really beautiful video, and I'm lucky enough to, it's on my YouTube channel. What was that experience like?
Well, she was in the house for 2 hours. Her name is Pearl, and she was phenomenal. It was difficult, and it was kind of healing in the same way, because like speaking about things that really hurt. It's only now that I can actually start talking about my son without breaking down. You know, I still sleep a lot.
Why do you think that is exactly? Like,
I'm not sure.
Is there still some sort of depression hanging about?
Yeah, I still am depressed. I'm on 2 antidepressants. The second one seems to be actually helping more.
Okay.
And I'm on anti-anxiety medication. And everything seems to be finally working better. But I'm not working, you know, like, because of all these things that happened.
But you're in a position where you don't need to, though, right?
I don't physically need to, but I would like to.
Right.
You know, it wouldn't hurt.
Right. Well, you know, you never know. I mean, doing what you're doing with NAMI is
exactly.
It's kind of a job. It's more like a gig.
Yeah.
But it still gets you up and moving. And
and you know, like I live all the way out at the end of Queens, so getting anywhere is a whole day trip.
This is why we've taken so long to find her way
my car
to
was,
NAMI.
Yes, I need to drive to the railroad, and I couldn't get my car out of the ice for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or that one lousy snowstorm.
Yeah, it was. It took a toll on everything. So, I want to hear, what was it, husband number 2?
Oh God, yeah, okay. Husband number 2 was actually wonderful. That's my daughter's father. We had a 36-year age difference.
Oh wow.
He being 36 years older than me. He looked exactly like Jack Palance. He was an artist,
really?
And into the occult and mysticism and Eastern religion and Curlian photography. So we were together for a few years, and my daughter's from that marriage. And I started getting depressed, and I thought it was the marriage, so I left. And then I got involved with the guy that had my apartment before me.
Oh wow.
I met him. And we started dating. He worked in a rehearsal studio, and then he became more of a high-tech computer person. Like, I don't really know how to describe what he did. Like hooking all your household stuff up to one remote.
Right.
Okay. And we were together for 11 years. We moved to California. We lived in Santa Cruz for a while. My son was born in Santa Cruz. And we came back to New York. And again, I started getting depressed. And we didn't go to marriage counseling. And there was just not very much. Things seemed very different between us. I felt I was by myself. Okay. And I had nobody to talk to at home anymore. And I made friends with a guy at work. Here we go.
Wow.
And his name rhymed with mine, both his first and his last.
Oh, that's funny.
So we started hanging out, and I wound up separating from my third husband and getting involved with this person who also got me involved with drugs. For me, it was trying it once, and I was just totally addicted, and I couldn't stop. And I married him, and then I wound up having to beg his mother to please get him out so I could get clean.
Wow.
And even getting him out, it took me a few years to get clean.
Wow.
And a few years of relapsing. And that was on crack. But I'm off that now for many years. I would never ever go near it. I don't know anybody who uses it.
Oh, good.
Made a lot of NA meetings and have friends in recovery.
I assume that's how you met your current husband.
Yes, yes.
Right. So obviously he'd also been through
Yes.
drug addiction.
Yes.
So that's and clean and clear.
Yes,
and
he'd also been through going to TCs, I never
What's
went to a
that?
TC, therapeutic community, where you stay like anywhere from 18 to 24 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Goodness.
So he went through those. I didn't have that luxury because I had children. So I had to really get it together because I love my kids. I'm really lucky I never lost them. I'm lucky that my mother helped me because between my depression and drug addiction, I wasn't functioning.
Right.
And my mother didn't condemn me. She helped me. She got me to therapy. She got me to my first meeting. She loved it so much she wanted to go to them.
Oh, your mom sounds awesome.
And they told her that she couldn't continue to go to those meetings because she didn't belong there.
That's
But
hilarious.
she could go to Al-Anon or Families Anonymous.
That's hilarious.
It was wonderful, and it was like really blessed because, blessed, I'm using that word, my God, because as a child I hated my mother.
Oh, wow.
I absolutely hated her. My
Did she
biggest
know?
fear was being to grow up and be like my mother. I thought she was cold and unloving and unemotional,
Okay.
and here, she wound up being like my best friend.
Oh, wow. That's
I
wonderful.
just loved her so much.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. My son used to always, he called her Bubby, and my daughter called her Bubby, and they adored her. My daughter loved spending weekends at my parents' house.
Yeah.
And my son used to say, if it weren't for Bubby, I don't know where we'd be.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Wow, your mum sounds wonderful.
she was, she really
So
was.
it sounds like she was just really strict with you and wanted to try to keep you on the straight and narrow or whatever, and then when you were in trouble she was, just had to accept it.
I don't
be
know, I
there
always
for you.
feel like she changed.
Well,
But I
you
guess
changed.
it must have been me.
You
Yeah,
changed,
yeah.
so she had to. Well,
Yeah.
she didn't have to. She could have stuck to her guns and been what you said,
Yeah,
cold and
yeah.
unemotional. She could have stayed that way.
Yeah.
But she changed
Yeah,
to help you.
and it was many years later that I found out my mother was an abused child, and she didn't view it that way. She thought it was normal to get your arm broken by your mother
Huh.
or get your head smashed in a wall.
Right.
And,
Probably her parents thought it was acceptable.
well, her father died when she was 7, and I think that traumatized my grandmother, and it was taken out on my mother. Yeah.
Well, because, one of the things my dad and my mum also have said to me, it's just the way it was.
Yeah.
And that's
Well,
my
yeah,
generation.
it was different. It was different.
But
But
it
my mother.
it's just the way it is to you, though. It's not
Yeah.
necessarily to everybody.
Yeah, there are a lot of people that don't talk about it.
Or there are a lot of people who literally don't hit their children.
Yeah. I never got hit as a child. My father used to threaten us with his belt, like he'd
Right.
hit the bed with it. My older brother and I used to laugh.
Effective.
Yeah.
Did you do as you were told, though?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, that's
we were
good.
good.
That's
yeah,
good.
We were well behaved.
That's funny. That's wonderful. I like that. That's being threatened and laughing. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Dad's like, "Rrr," and you just laugh at him.
Yeah.
That's great. He must have been scary.
Yeah. My dad used to teach piano at night, and my brother and I would be in the bedroom. That was when we lived in an apartment house. And I'd hear the music, and I'd come out in the living room and start dancing, and he'd have to chase me back into my bedroom.
Oh, that sounds lovely.
It was fun.
I like it.
So driving, when I moved in with my husband, getting anywhere became more of an issue because I didn't have a bus right across the street.
This is in New York?
Yeah,
Okay.
I live in Queens. And I mean, there are buses, but they didn't run like they ran where I lived. I couldn't walk to the Long Island Railroad. I had to drive to the Long Island Railroad. So originally I was just doing that kind of driving and driving to my mother. Then I started driving on the highways, and about 2 years ago I started to get really bad with anxiety, maybe 3 years ago. And I started having meltdowns driving. I'd start driving and then I'd have to pull off the road and go, I can't drive anymore. That's it. But I was having meltdowns and panic attacks everywhere at that point.
Yeah.
So to drive on the highway, no. I'll take the local streets. It'll take me an hour instead of 10 minutes, but that's okay.
Well, it's better to be safe. And it's not just you, you're affecting everybody else
Right,
around
exactly.
you. So we'd rather you off the highway.
Right. But this weekend I drove up to my aunt's in North White Plains, and I took my daughter and my granddaughter, and I was fine.
Oh,
absolutely
good.
fine.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So like I'm on the road, you know, like maybe the day was just good, but I felt really confident and comfortable and
nice.
and in charge. So it was good.
I love driving. I miss it.
I used to love driving.
I love it. But we drive with manual cars.
Wow.
Yeah, in Australia, I don't know what it's like now, but when I was getting my license, if you got an automatic license, you could only drive an automatic car. But if you got a manual license, you could drive both manual and automatic. So everyone would get manual licenses, and we'd all drive manual cars.
Wow.
And I really enjoy changing the gears.
That's what I've heard from people.
Yeah.
Actually, the car I bought that was stolen, I had bought a car with standard shift, and I hadn't even learned how to use it, and it was stolen.
I know.
Yeah.
I used to watch. I was so excited to learn to drive as a kid. Like to me, it was freedom. That I would watch anyone actually. My dad, my mum can't drive a manual car, but I'd watch my dad, and I'd watch anyone who I'd get in the car with who was a manual driver. I'd watch how they change the gears and the feet. And I'd watch all
There's a lot
of
of work involved.
Well, not when you know how to do it, not at all. Learning it at first, I guess, it can be, but I knew in theory how to do it by the time I started, so I took to it really easily, and I was off and running in my first car at 16 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, I was never interested in driving. I lived in Manhattan at the age of 18, so...
Well, there you go. You don't need a car.
I didn't need a car. I didn't care if I drove.
I lived in suburban Australia. To walk to the train took like half an hour where I lived,
Yeah, well, that's like about where I am now.
Still not the same.
No, sure not.
Still, like, we had like maybe one bus that would come along maybe every half an hour. I don't know. I never caught the bus, but we would walk everywhere.
Yeah.
And it was exhausting. To drive to the city, to go out at night when you're 18. Like, that would take half an hour to get there, sometimes longer. And then you'd have to have a designated driver because the cost of a cab, because the public transport shut at midnight, and the cost of a cab was like anywhere between $50 and $100.
Wow.
So, yeah, you had to drive.
Yeah.
I guess it's like living in California.
You needed a car.
Yeah.
I had a job. I was working at that time rebuilding and tuning pianos.
Oh, wow!
Yeah.
So thank you. I really enjoyed this.
Thank you.
Great.
I enjoyed it too.
Yay!
Thank you. Great.
Bye! Bye! All right.